good morning.
And good evening, beautiful people. What's poppin', y'all? It's the first episode of Mose Knows. Hey, little snaps. Come on, the initial episode. You're not gonna snap, Deon?
No, wait. I got you.
That's crazy.
I
That's
got you.
crazy. You gotta snap. What you got?
Yeah, there we go.
All right, bet. Okay, so yeah, welcome into my humble abode. And if you don't know who the other guy is, that's my guy Deon Parker.
What's giddy?
Yeah. Known each other since college. Did our thing that way, and so now we're here, right? Started from the bottom, went to Drake. So, yeah, what a time to be alive. So much to talk about, especially in Austin with Texas. Now 10-1, 10 wins ever. Well, not 10 wins ever, but
I'm
the
about to
first
say,
time.
whoa.
Yeah, the first time Steve Sarkisian has had 10 wins as a head football coach. So congratulations to him. He's able to accomplish that for the first year. And now you see the fruits of third year in the coaching realm, or third year at Texas coaching. And it's just like, this is what he created. This is what he wanted to do. This is what he wanted to kind of formulate. And now you get to see his guys and his culture get implemented into this organization, to this program, and to the Burnt Orange faithful. But yeah, Deon, I kind of want to start every show just about like how you're doing. You know, we don't talk on a daily basis. So like,
it's so nice.
I just how's your week going? You know, I just feel like mental health is something that we really do want to promote here on this platform, on this show. And so, yeah, how's your week been, bro?
Man, thank you for asking. My week has been phenomenal. Currently in this cybersecurity boot camp, so doing that, you know, it's a grind. So, but yeah, you know, I'm just living life, man. 25-year-old, and just trying to get better at my craft and at this podcasting thing. So, life is good. How about yourself, buddy?
Sensational. Just got back from H-Town, hold it down. You know what I'm saying, drip or drown. But saw the fam. Was able to talk to my parents, talk to my sisters. I have one sister in South Korea though, so I wasn't able to talk to her yet, Courtney, but she'll be back home for Christmas, so I'll see her then. But yeah, it's a nice little reset, you know, whenever you go home. You know, you still like think about what would happen if you moved back home. True. I don't know if I want to do that yet, you know, but I will say just going home and visiting with the parents. Like,
did y'all do Thanksgiving? Did y'all do early Thanksgiving?
Nah, we didn't. We just chilled. I actually hung out with my one of my best friends from across the street. We grew up together since we were 2 years old. So I was chilling with his family for about 2 nights and just thinking about the old times. You know, talk about the past when we were kids, ding dong ditching in the cul-de-sac. Even though everyone knew each other. Everyone knew each other in the cul-de-sac. So I mean, there's only a handful of people who it could be ding dong ditching. And so, but I was fast though. So
allegedly
got out of there. What do you mean allegedly? I got awards to prove it.
Hey, you got it, buddy. You got it.
Where'd you have a drink? You have anything to sip on, or at least like water or something? We're drinking every time we have a pod.
For you, buddy. Let me go grab something. I got you.
Okay.
But while I go grab something, man, go ahead and tell us about Texas, man. I heard it was a good game on and off the field. So I heard some Twitter fingers were going this weekend.
Yeah, you heard. You didn't see, man. There's a lot of tea. So before the game, as you go get your stuff, the left guard for Iowa State, and I'm sure every Texas fan has heard this story, but what a crazy situation this was, right? So before the game against Iowa State last week, the left guard for Iowa State, Jared Hufford, I hope I pronounced his name right, but I mean, he doesn't really deserve for me to pronounce his name right. You know, he didn't show up or show out. So, but anyways, his last quote before Texas played Iowa State, when they had a press conference in Ames, Iowa, before the game, he mentioned and he called out that Texas culture. He said they get all the 5-star recruits and have all the nicest stuff in the world, and they just think they don't stink. They're just humans, and that's how I see them. They're people that have such a high ego that needs to be checked. That is a crazy statement, dude. Like, especially who you know that he's going against, or who he was going against, and T'Vondre Sweat and Byron Murphy. And T'Vondre Sweat, he's just, 6'4", 360, like nothing crazy, right? But yes, I mean, he's a big, large human. And to call someone like that out, knowing that you're going to like go against them, that's just not a smart move, Deon. I mean,
did you ever like? Do you have an idea of what the question could have been? Like, I'm just trying to figure out
usually for like
what egged the
reporters,
guy on to take a shot for whatever reason at this Texas team that is ranked.
Yeah, I mean, usually the reporters kind of ask like, "What do you think about the upcoming matchup? You know, what do you see from Texas that may cause a threat, or what are some things that may be difficult for you to go through or face against a Texas squad?" That's probably what the question was, and he just felt like it was a time and a place to, like, F that. Like, I'm not scared of these boys. Like, I'm gonna talk my shit, but it's like, you have to back it up. And as we get into the game, like, he didn't really back it up very well
At all.
To be honest. And so, like I mentioned, going against T'Vondre Sweat and Byron Murphy, it's already impossible to do, especially if you see the other games that Texas has had. They're one of the best teams, if not the best team, when it comes to rushing defense. I know stats show something, but when you watch the game, you can tell that front seven for Texas is remarkable. And so when it comes to run defense, they're one of the best in the nation. And it proved on Saturday. Iowa State only had 9 yards rushing for the game.
Again? What'd you say? How many yards?
They only had 9 yards rushing for the game. And I wasn't the only one that took notice. Actually, after the game, Byron Murphy and T'Vondre Sweat, the guys that Hufford went against basically the whole night, tweeted out, made a couple tweets, as they should. Byron Murphy tweeted out 9 rushing yards with that like thinking emoji, which is so clever. That's all. Don't write no check you can't cash. This is my favorite part. Little guy. He called him little guy. And to be honest, there was a play where Byron Murphy just straight armed him, used all his strength, got to the quarterback like it was nothing. Like he was pushing a piece of paper. So, I mean, he can call him little guy because they went at it and Byron Murphy won that battle. And then T'Vondre Sweat, same thing. 9 rushing yards. That's tough. And another emoji. And so you can talk your when you back it up. And that's what T'Vondre Sweat and Byron Murphy did.
I mean, did this gentleman not watch any film? Like what did he see on the film that was like, oh yeah, we can we can make these guys look bad. I know they're ranked and got all this hype, but I don't think he's been watching any film. So the coach definitely needs to sit him down and say, you need to stop. You need to put the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 down, son, and watch film because these guys are the real deal. These guys are the real deal.
Boy, talking like he was in that party chat on Call of Duty.
Yeah,
on Xbox.
Just saying anything.
Just saying anything.
Just saying anything.
Just saying anything. And so, yeah, it didn't work out the way he planned it to. And Texas was able to win that game, 26-16. And first game without Jonathan Brooks as well. Deon, I know we talked about this and seeing how, you lose the starting running back for Texas. What's that offense going to look like without Jonathan Brooks, who was a Doak Walker semifinalist for best running back in the nation? And C.J. Baxter, the true freshman, he stepped up. He had over 100 yards rushing. He showed a lot of burst through the hole. There's something that I really was impressed with. He showed a lot of ferocity when it comes to contact. And he looks 100% healthy like Coach Sark talked about last week. And he stepped up to the opportunity that he had. And I'm just proud of him, knowing that to be so young and have that much weight on your shoulders at that young of an age, he stepped up over 100 yards and against a really good Iowa State defense, by the way.
So he was able to. So it didn't look like a fall off from running back to running back. It looked like it was just a smooth transition.
Yeah, it was definitely different, because the first couple drives, they weren't really handing the ball off to CJ, which was kind of weird to me because I put out a tweet saying CJ's averaging about 7 yards a carry, but at the time he didn't have a lot of carries. And so it's if he was averaging 7 yards a carry, why not just keep feeding the kid? But, Sarkisian has a plan. They had an offensive game plan going in, and that just wasn't the game plan to run the ball. But I do feel that was a difference that we saw because usually, they want to get the ground game going early and trying to get some easy yards, and try to punch him in the mouth from the get-go. But they used Quinn Ewers' arm, and they were able to drive down the field a couple times, but they had some self-inflicted, I guess you could say, wounds or quote-unquote turnovers by them in the red zone when it comes to Texas. Xavier Worthy fumbled the ball in the red zone, but they were still able to capitalize in the second half on their opportunities and came back and in that second half and just was more efficient, to be honest, and really played Longhorn football. But in the first half, kind of not like what we've been talking about, right? Like,
yeah, starting off strong and finishing a little weird on the back end. Yeah,
the story was flipped this week. It's like this time they started off kind of strong. Like, if we're being honest, they moved the ball well. They just had some turnovers, or bad penalties at inopportune times. But then in the second half was when they really started to put things together, stopped making those miscues, and started scoring some more points. And so, it was kind of like a flip of a script this week. So, they're a good team. Texas is a great football team. They're able to win games, and that's all that matters, right? And now they just at a position where they need a little bit of help to get into the college football playoff, but they need no help to get into the Big 12 championship. All they have to do is win their game on Saturday, and they're in.
Okay, and what is that? Before we talk about their, next week's matchup, do you have any updates on Quinn? Is his shoulder? Did he look a little sore this time as well? Do you have any reports on that?
Yeah, I mean, he looked better. I will say that. Of course, there's a couple throws. There's one throw in particular that comes to mind. There's a deep ball to Adonai Mitchell that he just underthrew. It would have been a touchdown, to be honest. Adonai was wide open, but just a ball underthrown. And that's maybe something another sign that he's not fully healthy, to get the ball out there. And that's just something you got to work with for the rest of the year. He's not going to be fully healthy for the rest of the year. I think Longhorn fans have to realize that he will never be 100% by the time this year's over with, just because he's continually taking hits, continually working that shoulder out, and so you're not gonna get 100% healthy. So you gotta deal with what you got, and so maybe those deep balls is something that he won't be able to connect on as often now as his season comes to a close. But other than that, like, he looked efficient. He was able to go for over 200 yards. If I look at his stat line, he had 2 touchdowns as well, 33 passes. So it's not like they were refraining from throwing the football. Like I said, they weren't even running the ball at the first couple drives of the game. I mean, CJ only had about 2 or 3 carries. And so they really do trust Quinn, and they believe that he's healthy enough to carry this team. And I think that's all that matters. If the coaching staff thinks that he's healthy enough, Longhorn fans should be confident as well.
Dope. So, I mean, let's set the stage for this upcoming week. I know you had but even before the season started, you had some, a strong take on the commissioner.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, I think we have to set the stage for this upcoming week, man. I think that's an important, one of your viral moments. You told me that, it rubbed some people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Let's set the stage for, the opponent that they're playing this weekend. What do you expect from this game?
Yeah, to give context for those who don't know, I did have a little, I guess, commentary on KVU News when I anchored one night before the season started. After Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner, came out and basically just said, like, at Texas Tech, by the way, they were at a fundraiser for Texas Tech out in Lubbock, and he had a little speech, and he mentioned how, like, he wants Texas Tech to beat Texas openly. He wasn't holding anything back. He's like, look, y'all need to take care of business. That was his words. And so, from an outsider, I'm thinking, like, you can't do that, right? Like, you can't do that. Like, Texas is still in the conference. It's not like Texas was in the SEC. Like, they're still in the Big 12 right now, and you're the Big 12 commissioner. And so you should be happy for all the teams that are successful, not just the teams that are staying in the conference next year, and hating the teams that are not staying in the conference. Because right here in this moment in time, they're in the conference. And so I felt like it was unfair. I felt like it was kind of like childlike, to just kind of talk about UT that openly against them, knowing that they're in the conference. And now you have a situation where UT has a chance, if not the best chance, to win the Big 12. So what's going to happen, if that does happen, when Yormark has to hand UT the trophy, that's going to be a sticky situation. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to look at that. But he said that he'll be in DKR in Austin on Friday to watch Texas versus Texas Tech with his own eyes. He was actually at the game last weekend out in Ames, Iowa. So it's going to be interesting. Very interesting to see how that all played out. But yeah, I had a couple words just saying, like, I just don't think that was fair. I don't think that's what you should do as the Big 12 commissioner. That's not your role. I felt like you should be overseeing everybody equally and fairly, and he was just openly hating Texas. And so I said a couple words about it, and it kind of popped off. So now we're here, though, right? Now we're here.
Right. Yeah. Now we're here at the game. And what is your prediction for this game? What do you think this game looks like? Do you think this will be a shootout? Do you think this will be a low scoring game? What's your prediction? What are you thinking? Do you think we see another 100-yard rushing game from the Texas running backs? Like, what are you thinking that looking like this week?
Yeah, that's a great question, because it's funny when you think of Texas Tech, a lot of people think about like air raid offense, throwing the ball around, especially Texas fans because they're traumatized by Michael Crabtree. But this Texas Tech offense is completely different than years past when it comes to running the football. Their running back, Taj Brooks, is second in the Big 12 right now in rushing yards total, and he's actually from Austin. So this is a coming home party. He went to Manor High School, balled out at Manor. I was able to actually cover one of his camps this summer. Real good dude. I messed with Taj heavy. He came back and provided for the community. I always respect athletes that come back home and do that type of stuff for the kids. And so really snaps for Taj for doing that. And so he's a real good dude, really good running back as well. And he runs with ferocity, and he runs with a lot of power and also balance. Like, it's crazy how much contact he can take and still kind of power through. So there could be some tough yards for Taj against this really tough Texas run defense. So that's going to be the matchup to look for, because if Texas makes them one-dimensional like they made every other team that they played so far, that's what they want, right? They want to have to make the other team play one way, either pass first or run first. And it's been basically pass first all year. That's what they want to do. They want to force them to only pass the ball when it comes to the Texas defense. And so if they're able to slow down Taj Brooks, that will be the key. And then you force Texas Tech to pass the football. But if they're not able to do that, and Taj is going for his 4 yards a carry, 5 yards a carry, then Texas is looking in trouble a little bit. But I don't think that will be the case. I think it's going to be a very, very slug it out game, kind of like how Kansas State was. And so I guess my prediction is going to be 27 to 21. I think it's going to be a close game, because a lot of emotions, senior night. And so that's also a big factor for a lot of these seniors on the team, their last time playing at DKR. So it's a lot of emotions going on. And when it comes to emotions, sometimes you start off a little bit flat, or you start off too emotional, and you make some mistakes here and there that you don't really do on a regular day basis. So yeah, I think it'll be a close game. I think it won't be super high scoring. Like, I'm not thinking 45 to 42 or nothing like that, because Texas defense is that good. But I do think it's going to be a 27-21 Texas dub. They'll go into the Big 12 championship.
Got you. And I guess like you said earlier, we got to talk about rankings. I know Florida State's quarterback,
tough loss.
Unfortunately hurt his leg, out for the remainder of the season.
Did you see the video, live, or not live, but did you see it?
I don't want to. How people are describing it, I don't want to see it. I know it looks. I know it's probably looking really bad. So
yeah, it's sick.
Shout out to him, and hopefully he gets a speedy recovery. But I guess projections would think that they're not going to win out. I know that you saying Texas needed some help. Is that the help you're looking for to maybe see if they can sneak in there and get into one of these 4 spots? Do you think they have a chance?
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, of course you don't hope injury on anybody, but
yeah.
Is this the help that they're looking for? Do you think it is looking more and more like, okay, maybe they can sneak in there? What do you think about that?
Yeah, this is definitely an opening, right? Like, with Jordan Travis going down with Florida State, it's like, okay, I don't know how good their backup quarterback is, to be honest. I haven't seen them. And the committee actually dropped them to number 5.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I was like, okay.
Yeah, so they're peeping it too. Like, maybe they're not the same team. Now, they still have, of course, Florida, I believe, this week, which is going to be a tough matchup, just because it's a rivalry game. Every rivalry game is going to be tough. But then you got the ACC championship, probably against Louisville. And so I honestly think they won't survive. That's what I'm thinking, that without Jordan Travis, they may not survive with, well, I guess unscathed, you can say, in these next 2 games. And so then let's just assume Florida State does lose the game. They're out of the situation, all right? And so then we got to worry about one more spot because Texas is technically 7. And so Michigan and Ohio State, they're going to take care of themselves. Only one of those teams is going to fit in to the top 4. So that also takes care of somebody else. But then I think the last domino that has to fall is Alabama and Georgia, right? So, well, also Washington and Oregon. That's also a situation where if Oregon wins that game, now Washington is a 1 loss, just like Texas, but they don't have a Pac-12 championship. Oregon will be the Pac-12 champion. And so now does that committee weigh Washington's season higher because they've had such a great year and they may have lost just the last game of the year against a really good Oregon team who also their only loss is to Washington. So, you don't really know how the committee is going to do all these things, but I think the best case scenario, right? Let's say Michigan, I'm not going to give Michigan the dub. Let's say Ohio State beats Michigan, so they're in, right? And then let's say Georgia beats Bama. Okay, we'll take that. Washington beats Oregon. So Washington's automatically in. So that leaves 1 spot. And to be honest, I think if Texas wins out and Florida State loses, then Texas gets that 4th spot because Bama will be out because Georgia beat them. And then Oregon will be out because Washington beat them. And then if Florida loses, then Texas moves up to 4. And I think that's kind of like the scenario I'm looking at because to me, that's a less drama. And that's a less like figuring stuff out for the committee. It's more like, Georgia won, they're in. Ohio State won, they're in. And Washington won, they're in. So that leaves 1 more spot to me for Texas. And I think that's what Texas fans should be looking for if Florida State will lose one of their games in the next 2 games. So, but a lot of stuff can happen though,
Yeah,
that's stuff. That's the fun part.
I mean, for 2 games, there's a lot that can happen, and I would hate to be on that committee.
Right,
how you described it?
Oh my goodness!
How you described it? That may be the simplest way for them.
Yeah, that'd be the simplest way.
Like I say, if anything else happens, I would hate to be in their position.
Someone's going to hate them. At the end of the day, someone's going to hate them.
There's going to be a bunch of teams that are, at least the guys in the top 8, 7. Those teams are going to hate you. They're all going to feel like they had a shot.
But 12 teams next year. I mean, this is the last year that we're doing this. 12 teams next year. It's going to be a whole playoff.
Yeah, and then you're going to have the 13 through 18 team that's going to hate you.
It don't matter. They're not going to win none of it. They're not going to win none of it. If you're the 14th best team, you're not beating the number 1 team.
Yeah, true. I feel that. Okay, but let's talk about some Texas basketball.
Yeah.
What's the team looking like? What's the record so far? I know you said they played UConn. I mean, what's your projection for them for the season? Are they looking like another? Would they make the
Elite 8? They made the Elite 8 last year.
Elite 8. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name. They made that last year. Is it looking like they're going to be on that same trajectory this year, or no?
We don't know yet. To be honest, we don't know yet because everyone hasn't been healthy, and so until Texas gets everybody healthy, then we can start figuring stuff out. But from what I've seen, they're going to be a really good interior defensive squad. They're going to just be a really good defensive squad in general, just because of who they have with Dylan Mitchell, Caden Shedrick down low, 6'11". He's a shot blocker. Dylan DeShoe, he's the guy that's kind of still recovering from last year. He got injured in the tournament, so his recovery process has been up and down. He had a little setback over the summer, but now, he's on that right track again to get back. But we just don't have a timetable for DeShoe right now. So, of course, Zerk Onyema, the transfer from UTEP. And those are the guys that are down low. Of course, Brock Cunningham, the guy that's about 30 years old, it seems like he does the grimy stuff, right? He's a gritty guy. He's a glue guy for a reason. That's what they call him, Elmer's glue. He's a glue guy. And so he pokes balls away. He swipes at balls when big men are trying to go up because he just knows they're not as agile with the basketball. So he's a smart player. And so the interior defense is going to be really nice. When it comes to the perimeter defense, still got to figure some things out with Tyrese Hunter and Max Abmas. I feel like a lot of teams are going to try to pick on Max Abmas. He's just one of the guys that he may be he's kind of small, to be honest. He is kind of small when it comes to the defensive end, but he can put the ball in the bucket. And that's why Texas went out and recruited him from Oral Roberts, because he's one of the best, if not the best 3-point shooter in the nation. And so knowing that, they're going to try to work him on defense so then he gets tired. And when it comes to his offensive game, it may be hindered a little bit. And I think that's going to be the game plan for anybody playing Texas. But like I said, Dessou's out right now. When they're out in Madison Square Garden, that's what he just had their last 2 games. They beat Louisville by a point. That's when Caden Cedric, the transfer from Virginia, the 6'11 kid, he had 27 points, 7 rebounds. I mean, just a dominant game from him. But he had a little tweak in the shoulder. He came in with the shoulder injury. He tweaked it in that game, so he didn't play in the next game against UConn, where the defending champs, they're reloaded. They're a good squad, and they actually have a big man that's 7'2", Donovan Clingan. I mean, he's nice. And so a lot of guys that when you don't have Dessou and you don't have Shedrick, trying to guard a guy that's 7'1", 7'2", when your tallest guy on scholarship is 6'8", it's not really a good equation. You know what I'm saying? Not really a good formula.
It's gonna be a tough night.
It's gonna be a tough night. That's exactly how it was.
It's gonna be a tough night.
And so I can't really judge anything off that game against UConn because Texas didn't have 2 of their big men. But I will say this: Dylan Mitchell balled out. I mean, from the tip off, he was active. He was active on defense, active on the offensive boards. Exactly what Rodney Terry was hinting at early in this year. And he went to the NBA scouting combine, and he got some feedback back from scouts, and he learned that he needs to be able to expand his game a little bit, or at least show that he has that skill set or that bag. And he did. He had a nice little turnaround jumper, an NBA turnaround jumper in the mid-range early in that first half. Of course, he was getting block shots. He was on the boards. He finished with 21 points and 8 rebounds, 2 assists. And I mean, he balled out from the tip-off. Now, some of the other starting 5, they kind of start off slow. Speaking of Max Abmas, he had a couple bad shots. I mean, not shot selection, but just the shots were bad. Almost as if the moment, just a lot going on. I'm not going to say the moment's too big, because he's been in big time tournaments. He's been in the NCAA tournament. So I'm not saying the moment was too big for Max Abmas. What I'm saying is he just didn't perform to what you would want a guy like that, who you got in the transfer portal, to perform like. I mean, he finished with 10 points, 5 assists. Just not what you expect from a guy that you went out and recruited. And so Dylan Mitchell, he balled out. And so that's one bright spot from this weekend, I felt like, for UT, is like Dylan stepped up. You didn't have your big man. You can't really attest how UConn looked like. Rodney Terry made a post saying there's no more victories at Texas. But to be honest, RT, I think there is. I think there is. When you don't have your big man, I think there is. You only lost by 10 points, so I think they showed a lot of effort. And even when they didn't shoot well either as a team, they competed the whole night. And I think this Texas team is going to be fun to watch when everyone gets healthy.
Okay, bet. Well, look, man, that is our Texas Talk segment. Really quick, we're going to slide into, we're in the holiday of being thankful. Me and him just really came up with some, 2 separate lists of some guys, organization, teams that we feel like would be thankful or are thankful of, the situation that they're in. If they're thankful and they would love to have some better teammates. I know there's some Black Friday deals coming on.
Let's start with would be thankful.
Black Friday deals
would be thankful.
Okay, got you. I heard some of the Black Friday deals aren't Black Friday this year. They're not. Yeah, that's what I've been seeing on social media. People saying
they still got.
It's only like a 40% discount, not the 80-90% like they used
to like $20 back in the day, 40 inches.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Y'all, if y'all in the comments, y'all let us know what them deals are looking like, what you're looking for out there. But let's go ahead and get into this list. You said you want to start with which one?
What would they be thankful for?
Okay, got you. So there's 5 people on this list that I know would be thankful for either some new teammates, new organizations. And I think number 5 on the list, I'm going to start with Shadir Sanders. I'm sure he would be thankful for a new O-line because, Jesus, this guy is running for his life back there. Had 2 great seasons with Jackson State. He was 23-3 over there. They start the season off 3-0. They got all the rappers at their games. They're hyped. They're lit. The offensive line has always been bad, but of course, when you win, it covers up things. And eventually, they finally meet their match. They get smacked around, and you start seeing this offensive line. They either have the other team's money line, or they do not like Shadir or something because he's saying Hut and the D lineman is right there.
They back there instantly.
The D lineman already dapping him up like, yo, what's good,
there,
bro? What's goody? So yeah, this weekend he got smacked around. He didn't play the whole game. It looks like he left with an injury. Yeah, he left with an injury. So yeah, I'm sure he would be thankful for a better offensive line. I know I'm hoping that, Deon gets this team right within these next couple of years. Of course, you can't expect him to, be a 12-0 team in his first year, but I hope that he can get that right. Next on the list,
let me say something real quick when it comes to that.
Go ahead.
They're about to go to the Big 12, and so I think there is a opening for someone to take over the Big 12 with Texas and OU leaving. If Deon can get his guys right, if he can get his guys on the offensive line and on the defensive line in the trenches in this next recruiting cycle, or even the recruiting cycle after next, they could become one of those teams in the Big 12 that are fighting for that championship. But they gotta get those guys in the trenches. But there we go.
I think too. This is gonna Shadir is probably gonna leave after next season.
I think he'll leave next year.
Yeah, I think he said he's gonna come back. I think also too. I think Deon needs to prove if he's gonna actually want to be a coach for the college, and he's had a short stint with Jackson State. I seen on Twitter. One of the top recruits actually decommitted and went somewhere else because they didn't know if they could trust if Deon was still going to be there. So I think it's going to show us a lot within these next couple of years if Deon is committed to being a college coach, or is he going to try to move somewhere else or quit coaching altogether. There's a lot of storylines, and like you said, I would love to see that with Texas leaving. Number 4 on the list. This guy just played yesterday. We're recording this on a Tuesday. We had a Super Bowl 23 rematch
that can't
of
be
the
right.
Chiefs and Eagles.
23?
What, Super Bowl rematch?
It can't 23? Be 23.
Well, 2023. 2023. 2023. Not 23. Super Bowl 2023. There we go. Super Bowl 2023 rematch with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Eagles. And I am sure Patrick Mahomes would be thankful for some better receivers. This guy didn't have an amazing game nonetheless, but had chances to win the game. And I mean, receivers just forgot that I was supposed to catch the pass. Yeah, I guess the receivers forgot. I guess they forgot that receiving is, catching is an important part of that.
I feel bad for him too.
I know he threw the ball to Travis Kelce decides to fumble the ball, which isn't very characteristic of him. But he also threw an amazing ball to Marquez Valdez-Scantling that, I don't know, he just said, nah,
I'm good on that.
Not this time. Yeah. A big moment, big game.
Nah, you got
bro.
It.
Not
you
this
got
time.
It.
Not this time. So I'm sure Pat went into the locker room and asked him, asked the ball boy, how much he got paid, and told him like, yo, bro, you're gonna get promoted to ball boy because we can't have you.
And that's the worst part, right? Because like, as a quarterback, then you gotta go to the press conference, and you can't blame anybody. Like,
you gotta say it was my fault.
He literally said like, I could have threw the ball a little bit shorter. That's what he said. Like, I could have been a little bit more, not as far of a throw. Bro, what are you talking about? The ball was perfect.
Yeah.
In the bucket.
Yeah. I hit him. From all the receivers I know, they say if it hits you in the hand, you got to catch it.
And like, he didn't have to dive for it. It was in stride. It was a perfect ball, Pat. Like, you don't have to take all the blood. I guess you have to because you're the quarterback, right? But one of these days, he's about to go off. I'm telling you, he's gonna go off one of these days. I don't know if it's gonna be in the playoffs.
I don't know. I don't see that in him. I don't see that in him.
He's over.
He don't have the Tom Brady. Did you see what Tom Brady said today about the NFL? Yeah. I don't think Pat has that in him where he can. Oh, the NFL is soft. The coaches suck, and I don't know if Pat had that in him. But I hope that one day he can really tell the truth of like, that guy was trash. I was playing with some trash that year. But yeah, that's number 4 on the list. Number 3. This guy also played this weekend. He had a pretty great game. Team still ended up losing. Justin Herbert.
Oh my goodness.
I know he'd be thankful. I know he
Oh
would
my
be
goodness.
thankful
A
for
new coach
some
as
better
well.
receivers.
Not just
Man.
a new coach, a new defensive
I think he
coordinator,
would be
a new defense. Like, oh my goodness.
he would be thankful for a lot. I mean, I never was a big Justin Herbert. I didn't get the hype until I actually watched the game this weekend. I was like, oh no, it's not his fault. Why they always lose by?
No.
I think they have the record for losing by 3 or less
Yep.
points. Oh, it's not his. It's not
he's
really his fault. Everybody's, oh no, it's not. You actually watch the games like, no, it's not. Bro, he's throwing beautiful balls to people right in the chest, right in the hands, and somehow the ball's on the ground.
It's really frustrating.
Somehow
it
the
must
ball-
be so frustrating, knowing that you're throwing dimes. And even the last pass he threw to, like, I think there's one pass I saw on social media with Quentin Johnson, like the rookie from TCU.
So, my goodness. Jesus Christ. That was bad.
The tutty.
That was
bad. The tutty. Like,
man, that guy's gonna have a bad week. Because have you seen all the memes?
This isn't the first time he's done that. Like, he's a rookie. Like, he's been dropping passes all season long.
No, for sure. But the memes the last couple of days have been hilarious. They've been showing the video of, no, my mom's retiring. And then they showed in the next clip, his mom was working at the Krusty Krab.
Stop it.
We got to put that clip in here. We got to put that clip in here.
21st pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Quentin Johnston, wide receiver, TCU.
I just want to give a big shout out to my mom. She will be putting her 2 weeks notice in today. She retired. I don't want you working another day.
We have to. We have to. We have to.
Oh man, he's having. I'm sure he's having a rough week.
You're right, though.
Yeah, I mean that's tough.
Justin Herbert needs help.
That's
bet
tough.
he would be thankful for some new receivers. But Keenan Allen. Let's before we say that, Keenan Allen has been balling out. He's having a career year. I think he just reached over 10,000 receiving yards for his career this season. This is the one year that Keenan Allen has actually stayed healthy, which any fantasy. Yeah, there we go. Smart guy. Any fantasy owner would know if you draft Keenan Allen, he's not lasting until past week 8.
Yeah, you got a good 5 to 6 games out of him.
But this year he's been healthy, so props to Keenan Allen. Give you your flowers. You've been balling out this year, but man, everyone else in that wide receiver room.
I could just imagine going to work every day and like, oh my God, these are my guys. And you got to sit here and, all right, guys, this is the week. Let's go out and dominate. And you just know I'm going to get like 5 or 6 drops out of these guys every week. I know that got to be a tough feeling going into the locker room.
Yeah.
But let's keep it moving. Number 2 on the list, man, it's tough to see. It's tough to see this guy. No, it's amazing actually to see this guy still playing at a high level. I mean, our Splash brother, our light-skinned brethren, Stephen Curry.
Man.
I'm sure he would love and be so thankful for some better guys. Because oh my goodness, have you seen the numbers Clay is putting up out there?
It's funny you say Clay, because someone asked him in a press conference, asked him like, what does it feel like to drop 20 points? And he's like, I've dropped more than 20 points in a quarter before. But it's like, that's the whole point, Clay.
That's a crazy question.
That's the whole point, Clay. You haven't dropped 20 in forever. Like, we're not asking this question because it's like, oh, it must be a career high. We're asking it because you've been trash these last couple of weeks. And it's like, you finally got your shot going again, But he took it offensively. But you're totally right. Like, Clay has been.
No, if a reporter asks you that question, you should. Because that is an insane question to ask. But yes, Clay, I mean, I don't want to say he's washed, but taking tough shots at a consistent rate
not that guy.
When you're clearly not hitting. And this is the most I've ever seen him trying to get in his dribble bag, and I'm like, that's not you. That's never been you. I don't know if Steve is telling you, hey, yo, bro, go out there and just play your best, or yo, like I don't know what you're working on with C. Brickley. I know when I see you with C. Brickley, you're just shooting the ball. So I don't get why he's trying to take people off the dribble. I mean, bro, you're known for giving 60 points off of 7 dribbles. So I don't know what his mindset has been this year of thinking that, okay, bet, yeah, no, this is my season. Ever since I tore my Achilles, I'm finna come in and try to show my bag. I know I got this in me. So, yeah, I know. Even with Steph, I know he feels like with Draymond, wanting to be a future UFC fighter, going around choking people aside the neck. It's just like, yo, I just wish that if they were gonna fall off, they would all fall off at the same time. But Steph Curry is still playing at an amazing level that, you have to start thinking, are they going to try to maybe trade some of these pieces if they can bring back some trade value to themselves before the trade deadline?
Who wants to trade for Clay? Like,
I know that's what I'm saying. It's
trade. Maybe Wiggins. Wiggins is still pretty solid, but like, man, what would have happened?
You would hope maybe that Clay can, because last year when Steph was out, Clay played pretty decent, if I remember correctly. Him and Jordan Poole, but I just don't know.
What a guy.
Hopefully, like I say, hopefully he can get on a stretch. Yeah, hopefully he can get on a stretch within these next couple of weeks. Maybe you can find something for Steph, but at this current moment, the Warriors look like they, with the tough West that it is, they look like they may be a play-in team. I hate to say, if that.
And I hate to say, think, like, what if KD would have stayed? Like, I get it. You want to win a chip by himself, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't want to be a part of a supporting cast. But I didn't hate the move. I know I'm in an anomaly here, right? When KD came from OKC to Golden State, people hated that move. I didn't mind it, to be honest. I mean, we just want to.
I hated that. I hated it at the time.
A lot of people hated it.
I hated it at the time just because I was a Thunder fan. So it was tough to see that. Of course, with all the circumstances. But years later, I mean, LeBron had to do it to get that ring under his belt. So I'm not mad at it.
And if he didn't do it, people will be asking, why didn't KD have a ring? And so he got his rings, and now he's not questioned about that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
He's honorable mention on this list too. I'm sure he would be thankful for some healthy teammates. They're a healthy big three, because I mean he's just had bad luck after he left them. He tried to do a big three in Brooklyn, COVID, Harden, Kyrie. Now he's over here in Phoenix. Where okay, bet I got a new big three. Devin Booker's usually pretty much healthy for the most part. Brad.
I didn't know Bradley Beal was hurt.
If we
like,
I was frustrated when first game. I'm like, he's out already.
When did that happen?
Wait, what?
When did he get hurt?
Yeah, and it seems like it's pretty serious. They're talking about reevaluating him in some weeks.
That's crazy.
So, I don't know how that happened.
But Steph number two. Last on the list, number two, number one.
Man. It's funny that we talk about the Splash Brother. This guy was considered the third Splash Brother at a certain point in time. I mean, we have to say, this is like a movie how it played out.
Honey,
if you don't know, Mr. Jordan Poole is the number one on this list, which I would think he'd be grateful for. If you didn't know, Jordan Poole has had a crazy last 18 months, I guess you can say, getting punched in the face. Well, before that, going on an amazing championship run, being a key piece in the championship team, offseason getting punched in the face, getting a good very good contract, then getting traded. Now he's over here in Washington, and before the season started, everyone's like, "Yo, this is gonna be his team. He's gonna have like a Harden like run where Harden went to Houston and became just a household name."
Like for people to say that. Because the Harden was dropping 50 points a game.
I thought it was good praise.
No, I'm saying like disrespect with the Harden. Like
I thought it was
like people forget what Harden was doing in Houston, bro. Like he was dropping 50 plus consecutive games, bro. Like he broke the record. Like expecting Jordan Poole to do that. Come on, man.
I think that's just how high. Because like I say, he's had moments where it's like, okay, we could see it. So I don't think people were saying it in a disrespectful way. I think they were just trying to give context of a similar, like, okay, 6-man to stardom, and he's not lived up to that at all. Over this past week, Jordan Poole has this rolling joke of when baddies are in attendance, he decides to go crazy, and turns out Ruby Rose was apparently at the game.
And that's a baddie.
Man, and this was already setting up like, okay, bet Jordan is finna go for like 40, a 40-point triple, 50-point triple-double or something crazy. Turns out she actually put him in his 6-leg parlay as well to go over his points. Yeah, bro. We're going to put this graphic up. She put him in a 6-leg parlay for him to go over his points. I don't think he hit it at all. I think he fumbled that. So he fumbled I thought he played football. He fumbled a lot this weekend. And it's really sad, man. You would think that you get this money, Washington trades for you. You got all this hype to go see what you can do and prove your worth. And to this point in the season, 15 games in, you're looking like third option, maybe back to 6-man role. It's clearly Kuzma's team. And
he's putting up shots. He's putting up shots.
Yeah, but it just looks bad. And I blame coaching as well. I mean, I think if you get a coach that can tell you like, yo, bro, you can hoop, but you have to hoop a certain way. You can't hoop this way. The way you're hooping right now, you look insane.
They're not going to tell him that, though, bro. So they're not going to tell him that. But, that's it.
And he's on a bad organization, so they don't care. They don't care.
They're trying to tank. But that's a good list. That's a really good list. No
appreciate
problem.
Appreciate it. I was thinking about that all day. So let's go to the list of guys we think that are thankful, or they should be thankful for, of these guys. Organizations should be thankful for. Who's the first one you think should be on the list?
First one that comes to mind for me is Minnesota Vikings, right? They should be thankful for Josh Dobbs, the Pastronaut, right? So a couple weeks ago, when Kirk Cousins got hurt, out for the season, the question is,
thought their season
what's
was
going to
over.
happen? And then you already had Justin Jefferson on IR at that point. So my first thought was, this season's cooked. Like, Kirk is out for the year. Jay Jettis doesn't have to come back. Like, if he doesn't want to, like, he's a superstar. Like, and there would be no point to bring him back if they weren't in the playoff race. It would have been a smart thing to do to just leave him out for the rest of the season as well. But then the Pastronaut comes into town, does his thing, wins against Atlanta without knowing anybody in the huddle's names. And now they're back in the contention for the NFC North, to kind of win a division or at least compete for a playoff spot, because the Detroit Lions, I mean, they keep balling. Like, it's crazy how good they are.
Yeah, they're on a great run. Really
but
great
they're still
run
in contention for that wild card spot. And so thank God for Josh Dobbs. And I'm sure Minnesota's saying the same thing, because it's not only this year, right? If Josh Dobbs continues to ball out, the question coming into this year for the Vikings was, what's going to happen with Kirk Cousins after this year? Like, he has a year left on his contract. If he doesn't play well, do we trade him? Do we get rid of him? Or do we re-sign him? And so now the question is, if Josh Dobbs plays well, do we sign him to be our franchise guy? And to be honest, that's not a bad problem to have. I think having a guy like that as your franchise quarterback, he's a very fun player to watch. And I think he's found kind of his rhythm in the NFL over this past year. And I think it's a nice little opportunity for Josh Dobbs. So I'm sure Minnesota fans are thankful, and the organization thankful for Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, you can't hate a guy that with his competitive spirit. You can tell guys that get it out the mud, and he is grateful for every opportunity that he gets out there. So most definitely. I guess next on the list that should be thankful for, I think the NBA should be thankful for the play-in tourney. These games have been really good, really competitive. From the top down, we're getting really great games. I'm sure when they look at it, the viewership is probably up. Right now we have the 76ers and Cavs playing right now. It's a 7-point game.
Courts?
But yeah, this has been
actually.
No, I hate the
courts.
The courts. No, these courts. It's too much. It's just too much. If they were a little bit more subtle, and I get it, the NBA is just trying to make sure, like, again, they're trying to differentiate, like, this is the play-in game, this is the play-in court.
The regular season.
But I just feel like the designs could have been better. Some teams have decent courts because they have good colorways, but I know the New Orleans colorway, that looks atrocious.
The Mavs had to play against them the other day. I watched the Mavs play. I'm like, how y'all shooting?
It looks
on this
nasty.
I can't.
Yeah, this looks like an eyesore. It looks like an eyesore on TV, and I can't just imagine just playing on that. It looks like.
But I like the idea, like you mentioned, though. I do
I'm
think they should be thankful for that, though. Thankful for the in-season tournament.
Yeah, it's been good so far. It's definitely been good so far. Who else you got on the list?
Deron Bland for the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys should be thankful for Deron Bland because when Trayvon Diggs got hurt, a lot of questions, right? A lot of situations like, okay, you have Stephon Gilmore on the other side, but now your superstar defensive corner, he's out for the year. Who's going to fill that void? And of course, if you talk to a Cowboys fan, they'll probably tell you, oh, I knew Deron Bland was going to do this. He did this last year. Maybe you did. Maybe
not
you did. Come on,
at this level,
bro.
Maybe
they
not
were
at this
trying
level.
to claim it, but it's like, come on, bro. Like, you didn't know he was going to lead the league in pick sixes, like, with 4. Like, that's just crazy. That's a crazy stat to have. He had another one this past weekend against Bryce Young, who continues to
find a way to win.
Man.
This wasn't a Superman performance like the last couple games, but he found a way to win. You can't be mad at that.
Deron Bland, right? He was able to get a pick sixes game against Carolina, and he's just been balling out. He's been considered, if not one of the best corners in the NFL. He's up there with Jalen Ramsey, I feel like, when it comes to performance, when it comes to production, you know. Now, if I were to rank cornerbacks, I don't know if Deron Bland would be in my top 3. But for this year and this year's performance, yeah, Deron Bland deserves all his flowers. He's been locking up. He's been tops in the league when it comes to passer rating allowed, which is shut down. That's literally, you're shutting down whoever you're guarding. And that's a direct stat to that. And so I just feel like the Cowboys should be thankful because without Trayvon Diggs, who knew what was going to happen? Deron Bland did, and Scott did. You know?
True, especially
I did.
Yeah, no, facts. Especially after Trayvon tore his ACL. That next week they played the Cardinals, and they put up that stinker. So yeah, looked really bad out there. So yeah, for him to come in and there not really be a drop off. You gotta love guys that are ready for their moment. Again, you don't wish injury on nobody, but when it happens and you have guys just ready, locked in. I mean, it's always great to see. I guess next on the list we have to throw in your boy, Big Dylan Brooks.
Big Brooks.
Big Dylan Brooks. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you say about him, he's an agitator. Yeah, the Rockets definitely should be thankful for him. He's having I don't know if it's a career year, but he's having a great year, efficiency-wise, scoring-wise. He's still playing great defense. You guys that go to new situations, a breath of fresh air. You got a disciplined coach like Ime Udoka that you can be you, but I still need you to play within this system that I'm implementing with these young guys. And he's been great. I think we checked earlier; they're currently 9th, 500
6
in the West. Yeah. The West is tough. So shout out to him. He's really proven that it wasn't his fault.
And to be honest,
it wasn't
agitator.
His fault.
I think every team, not just basketball, every team needs like an agitator. You know what I'm saying? Just to like piss people off. Because then once you piss somebody off, you got to back your Brody up that's just been pissing everybody off. So it's like, you can't just sit back and watch your Brody get beat up. Like, you got to, okay, well,
early level Draymond, not UFC Draymond.
Yeah, facts.
So
yeah, bro, yeah. So Dylan Brooks is that guy now. I mean, he changed his IG profile to villain. That's it. Like all he posts villain. So he's embracing it. And I like that. I respect it because he knows people don't like him. Even Drake made a lyric about him. He doesn't care. He's all in on being the villain. And I think the Rockets team, who, to be honest, a lot of people think his head coach is a villain for what he did, to Nia Long. Man, what a baddie.
Wow.
What a baddie, bro. I mean, come on. You just gonna... Never mind.
Hey.
Never mind. We can talk about it, though. You want to talk?
It was calling him. It was calling him. He couldn't.
What do people say? Those intrusive thoughts?
Yeah, they won.
Those intrusive thoughts.
He's like, no, I don't want to do it.
That's crazy. Yeah. You got Neil Long at the crib, bro.
And then the shorty he chose was like the owner's shorty, or something like that.
Bold move.
Yeah,
Hey, well, yeah.
he was feeling himself.
I got Nia Long. I just took this.
I just took the Celtics team to the finals. I mean, come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. The world is my oyster, bruh. What you mean?
But yeah,
what you talking about?
I think that for sure is a guy that, some people consider a villain themselves, and so having a player that's a villain, people that don't like your coach, they're taking on this narrative that's like, people don't like our team. And I think that's not the case per se, but they're believing that it is. And so they're playing that way too. So props to the Rockets for turning things around. The other person on our list, or I guess people, Houston should be thankful for CJ Stroud and D'Amico Ryans because, man, I can attest to last year. That's how recent it was. People did not like watching the Texans. Like, people hated watching the Texans.
Davis Mills and what's the other dude's name?
Tyrod Taylor last year. Oh my goodness, long neck Davis Mills. By the way, I just bring up a graphic with Davis Mills. So people can see how long. Like, that neck is ridiculous, bro. Anyways, so yeah, watching Davis Mills last year, not fun as a Texans fan, and so now CJ Stroud in the building, D'Amico Ryans in the building. They're playing fun. They're playing through adversity. And even this past weekend, CJ throwing 3 picks, which that's
not something we've seen from him this year. So it was a new situation.
Like, 3 picks, that's more picks that he's had the whole season in one game. And they still came out with the dub. And I think that says a lot to D'Amico Ryans and the way he has his team and the culture that's being built in Houston. Because, man, the culture a couple years ago was like they like massages, So, I don't know if they're getting massages now.
It's been rough,
but
no. Well, maybe who knows?
A little PT, a little therapy. I think. Let me chill out.
But yeah, no, it's it's great to see, man. From the Deshaun thing to, being a laughingstock with Davis Mills and. Everybody kind of think like, oh man, we're playing the Texans this week, free win. Kind of how people are looking at the Jets. It's kind of great to see that this team is offensively. Really on both sides of the ball, they're solid everywhere. They found their guy in Devin Singletary.
It's okay. We don't gotta talk about it.
Golly, I'm so heartbroken. They found their guy, and it's just dope. They got a good running game, and that's what I was shocked to see. That bet if with him throwing the ball, are they still going to be able to establish a running game? And Singletary has done that for them. And when you have games like that, where maybe your quarterback's not playing the greatest, or maybe he's forcing things, or maybe just the defense is confusing him. We do got to remember he's a rookie quarterback.
That's a great point.
You can have a guy that you can just hand the ball off and expect him to get 4, 5, 6 yards and run the clock down, so he doesn't have to throw the ball that much. So, like I say, if this team keeps getting better, they start adding smaller and smaller pieces. I know we want to say this year. I don't want to give them too much expectations.
Big game this weekend against Jacksonville, though, for the division lead. It's a big game this weekend.
Oh, in Jacksonville.
Yeah, they just smacked around Tennessee. So it's gonna be it's in Houston, and so Texans got home field advantage. But that's gonna be the game to watch. And for God's sake, can we get a Texans game that's not at noon? Like, I think they had enough credibility that they're a fun team to watch. Let's stop putting them at noon. Like, can they at least get Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, some type of prime time?
Bro, they already made the schedule, bro. They didn't expect this guy to be so good.
They made a new rule this year that they can flex different games now.
Oh, yeah. They did do that. Okay.
They don't want to do that. I had to watch the Jets and Bills play on Sunday, bro. I'm not trying to watch that game. Not trying to watch that game.
Man, that is a poop shoot over there in New York. Those are definitely on the list of they should be thankful for. They would hopefully be thankful for Aaron Rodgers to maybe come back if they can pull together 1 or 2 wins. But I don't think he's coming back. I don't know why he keeps.
But one thing I'm thankful for, Deon.
But
Thanksgiving food. I'm so excited. I am so excited.
True. What are you most excited for? What's something that when it's Thanksgiving, if you go to your mom's crib or if you go to anybody's crib, what is something that got to be on the plate?
Dressing. Oh my god. I gotta have dressing. We call it stuffing.
I agree.
I saw that tweet today. Like,
I was wondering that too. I was always wondering if those are two different things. But I'm a dressing guy. I'd say
so
dressing.
Dressing's one.
I'm definitely dressing.
I gotta have my mama's mac and cheese, and no one else's. Like, auntie, I'm sorry, I don't want it. You know, like,
yeah, grandma didn't
like,
teach you like she taught her.
Mama, yeah. I need mama's mac and cheese, and then I also need mama's candy yams. I don't know if you're a candy yams guy, but I've
never been a yams guy.
Look into my, hey, if you watching, I love some yams.
This guy's a monster. I'm feeling comfortable. Oh my goodness, why? You know you're talking to me, right? What the heck?
I love some yams. Yams. All forms and fashions. You know what I'm saying?
This guy's different. I was about to say, what you sipping on, man? Golly.
But yeah,
this guy's wild. But for me, for sure, something that has to be on the plate. Yeah, I'm a mac and cheese guy. If you don't have mac and cheese,
it gotta sound good too when you stir it up.
Yeah, you didn't really have Thanksgiving if the mac and cheese isn't fire. I know some people, if you're putting raisins in your mac and cheese, just please put the spoons and elbow mac in the box. Leave it alone. Leave it to somebody with some seasoning.
Are you a honey baked ham guy or turkey guy?
I've seen that over the last couple of years. People hate turkey, but I enjoy turkey. I'm a turkey guy.
I've been putting people on, bro. My parents, they're big in Popeye's turkey. I don't know if you knew that.
Popeyes?
Hey, I'm telling you.
Yo, if anybody sees this, please drop in the comments. He says Popeyes. If you've had Popeyes, please let me know.
Fire,
I've never had it, so let me know if it's fire.
And literally, just get it, put it in the oven, and you're good to go. Like, it's already seasoned. Like, Popeyes season it themselves.
That is something you buy the day before. You go to Popeyes and say, "Hey,
a couple days. Is
Popeyes open?"
My mom already got her turkey. When I went home this weekend, I already peeped it. It's in the fridge, ready to go. Yes,
Popeyes turkey. That is.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
It's top tier. It is top tier. But I do like honey baked ham though. I do like that ham. So,
what's an overrated food? What's something that I don't know why people like this, but it's always been trash to me.
Trash is a hard word. What's that? I'm about to sound so stupid right now.
Why you think about it? I'll say mine. I've never been a cranberry guy.
Cranberry sauce. I was trying to figure out. I was about to say the gelatin, purple gelatin book.
The cranberry sauce is. I never understood
I put it
the purpose
in the dressing
of that.
though.
Just don't.
Like that's cool.
And you still eat it?
Mix it together with the dressing. It's solid, but just alone with the cranberry sauce, I'm straight on that, bro. I'm straight on that.
Yeah, I don't know if that is I don't want to say old people, but I don't know if that's an older generation thing. I don't.
Hey, you know what's a sleeper, bro?
Our age really messing with it.
I gotta. You about to say? Oh,
green bean casserole.
Hey, if you go to the best white neighborhood or the best white family, black people, we don't make green bean casserole. We don't do that. Well, some people do.
Hey,
some people do.
Was it one year that we did a Friendsgiving? Did Travis make green bean casserole?
Right. That sounds about white. You know what I'm saying? Like that does. But I'm telling you right now.
Hey, remember that?
I'm not agree, bro. If the right white person does, like, no offense, but like, if the right white person makes that green bean casserole, bro, that boy smack, bro. That boy smack. I'm telling you.
Yeah, leave the mac and cheese to the color folks, and the green bean casserole. Y'all getting your bags on that. Remember with that same Friendsgiving, we had somebody bring cornbread.
It was really corn. It was really corn. Not a lot of bread. Not a lot of bread, bro.
Hey, and if you see this, the person that we're talking about, I just want you, please comment if you ever had corn bread. Not cornbread. Corn bread. There was corn in the bread.
I'm like, what am I eating? What am I eating?
Yeah, I don't. This is what your mama say. You can't eat everybody's food. You can't eat everybody's food.
I'm making my black card revoked, and this is episode 1, so it'll be a rough start. But not that big of a fan of collard greens.
Oh please,
not that big of a fan. Not that big of a fan.
Cut off his mic.
Now, some people who put like the bacon in it, I mess with that. That's smart. But like straight collard greens, that's not what I'm scooping up first on Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying, to put on my plate. Like that's, if I have room for greens, I'll put some greens on there. But
we were hoping to do this thing every week, but he said he prefers the green bean casserole.
By the right person, though. They got me the right person.
Oh my goodness. All right, this is the grand opening and grand closing, everyone. Get home safely. This guy Cory is a character. Hey, did he really say that?
I thought there's no judgment-free zone. It's a judgment-free pod. Like,
anytime anybody says that, anytime anybody says there's a no judgment zone, they're looking to judge you. So don't ever believe it. And I am definitely judging you. I'm sure this person on the other side of the camera is looking at this and saying, wow, this is not what I thought.
Kind of disappointed a lot of people.
I didn't think I really liked him before. Now he's saying he don't.
But
what?
Give me some hot sauce though. Maybe we'll make it taste good. Yeah.
Oh brother, don't try to get your black card back. Don't try to get it back.
I'll mess with it. I mess with it. I'll mess with bacon. But yeah, man.
Oh my goodness.
Great episode.
This is a great episode.
And I just want to before we go, just want to kind of give a synopsis of what a word. Lord have mercy. Synopsis. Hey.
Okay, Stephen A.
Chill out.
Cory A.
But just to give a synopsis of what you can expect for the episodes to come. Of course, this is our first episode, so we're trying to figure some things out, right? We're just hoping that you hop on board, hop along the train. We thank you for being here so early because we do expect big things with this pod. I'm excited. Deon's excited. And we got a lot of good things in store. We have guests, of course, a lot of people that work in the business, right? Because of our connections, we're able to talk to people all across the nation because of the industry that we're in. And so we're hopeful that we can get some people on to kind of give some more insight in press conference rooms and interview rooms that we're not in, but they are. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the goal. We also want to talk about our lives, things that are going on, like Thanksgiving, things that we like, things that we don't like, kind of get some perspective of who we are as people, because I know for me and myself, I can't show that type of perspective in 2 minutes or 3 minutes on TV every night. And I'm not even on TV every night. So the few times I can anchor, those are the small times you can see and kind of figure out who I am. So I want to give you all a platform to kind of dive into exactly who Cory Mose is, just as a person, and the other aspects about sports that I'm not able to dive into because of the limited amount of time I have on TV. And so a lot of great things that we have in store for y'all. We hope you continue to stick around, and I'm so excited, and we are so excited for this platform and this opportunity to give y'all great content. And I hope you enjoyed episode 1, man. Deon?
Really quick, if y'all have any comments, of course, wherever this is uploaded, like, comment, subscribe. For sure, comment. Let us know what you think. If you think Cory is insane for some of the things he said, we'll definitely chop it up with you. We'll definitely cover some of these topics on the next episode. But yeah, excuse me. Sorry, allergies is kicking my butt right now. But I didn't want y'all to hear that. But yeah, if y'all have any comments, definitely drop them below. We're definitely looking to just make sure that this is a value, something that you can throw on in your car, something you can throw on in your TV. And we're honored that you took this time out to listen to us for this hour, however long the episodes are, 45 minutes, an hour. But yeah, I'm grateful to be here. chopping it up with my guy, just talking sports like we usually do. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Do you have any final thoughts? Any final words you want to?
I mean, as always, keep God first. Continue to pray, and He's listening. I promise you, He's always there. Jesus is always there. So that's all I got to say. We got to promote Jesus Christ on this podcast because He got me to the place I am right now. So pray first, listen to Him, and continue to walk in His light. But yeah, as always, thank y'all so much for another pod. Mose Knows, episode 1. Yeah, we out, baby.
Yiddy.